So recently I've been making friends with people that work with the Rejected Asylum Seekers Contact Network here in Aarhus, and we decided to go to a place called Kosovo, which is a holding facility for asylum seekers, those of whom have had their applications rejected. Some have been held here for years in Denmark and really have very few prospects of getting out of their situation. So I hope we can take away something from this. Why did you guys come to Denmark?
Because in my country we have not freedom. Yes.
Because government Iran he's make a problem with people and
Government Iran is like
talking about Muslim, just Muslim is Quran, Quran. Don't have a respect for another people. They have each other faith. Yeah.
Right.
And we have not freedom in the Iran. Really.
What do you expect to happen when you go back? If you go back soon?
We cannot go back to Iran. If you go
I don't think about I go back because I'm Christian.
Prison, yes.
And we have problem before in the Iran also. Really we can't go back. Think about that if I go back to Iran.
No.
If one day Iran live freedom and democratic, yes, I want to go back. I want to live in the with my family. Why not? I don't want to live in the present.
Can you say shortly your experience here in Denmark? How have they treated you here, the authorities?
Not good.
Really, how I can say because the Denmark people, more people define how can I say?
Denmark has good people.
Yeah.
I have many friends in Danish, in Denmark. Just immigration press us every day.
Yeah.
But we want just live in freedom.
Yeah.
We have right like another people.
Yeah.
Always. Where?
You're not criminals.
Yes, no, we are not criminal. Just we get negative.
We come in here. They say you have to stay here. If you want to go back to your country, we say we can't go back. If we can, we go back, but we can't. So I don't know how long time stay here.
I ask myself every time why I have to live here, why I cannot work, why, but.
Well, maybe you could answer. Why do you think the government has this stance on the migrant situation, the refugee situation?
I think it's a hard question to answer because I'm not really in their shoes. But I think there's been this normalization also where it's okay to have these borders, and the nationalism has sort of risen up, right? Also in other countries in Europe, Greece, Poland, Hungary, etc. I know it's been happening simultaneously with the refugee crisis. So there's we're so afraid that they're gonna come here and they're gonna change. Gonna come and change our society, and we can handle them economically. But it's not just a question of economics. It's also this fear, of a different culture, Muslims maybe, or different color of your skin. And but it's been happening in Denmark for a long time. Dansk Folkeparti back in the 90s also, where they became more popular amongst the Danish society and population. It's. But I also believe that Denmark is becoming more polarized. So there's also a lot of people who wants to support you guys and who wants you here. But unfortunately, there's also a lot of people who feels the opposite way. So
Why are they rejecting your applications? What did they tell you?
Hvad sagde de til jer, dengang I fik afslag? Hvorfor fik I afslag?
Det tilfælde is random.
Random.
Asylum in Denmark random. Please say to me, this random in Sandholm.
Say det.
Yes, in Central, please say to me. If you lucky, you get positive.
Okay.
If you're not lucky, yes. I have a lot of document,
Okay.
but I don't know why.
It isn't because they said, okay, in the first interview you said something,
Yeah.
and then in the second interview you said something else, so
Yeah.
therefore you're not reliable.
Yes.
They said that, okay, if you're lucky, and then you get asylum.
Yeah.
If you're unlucky, you don't get asylum. So like a randomized. So they asked Assad, the foreign service. They asked Assad, what have you eaten 1 year ago?
Yeah. And then if it doesn't apply, right? It's the same in Germany. Basically, the system is the same. So if if you say something in an interview and then you say something slightly different from that, then they charge you with unreliability, and then they like, oh, this is suspicious. We cannot let these people into our country because they're from over there. We don't know them. It doesn't matter. We're just scared. They might do anything. They might be terrorists. They might be I don't know what. It's the same in Germany. It's terrible.
Yeah, I have this story basically because I know a guy who was an interpreter for asylum seekers in Sandholmslejren, and he was sitting with a Somali asylum seeker, I think. And then in the first interview, the Somali guy, he said, okay, me and my brother, we went from this place to this place. And then some weeks later, when he was called for the second interview, he said, okay, my good friend was there and there. And that's because the interpreter interpreted, as brother the first time, like biological brother, but then in the second interview he understood like the cultural differences, so he translated it to good friend. So that is like a clear-cut example of also the interpreter's role and influence in these guys' cases.
So if the authorities had received a clear definition of what he had meant, the case would have been maybe treated differently. Did you guys think about going to Denmark first, or what about Sweden or Germany?
I have heard about Denmark before. When I was in Iran, Denmark is good country. Or Denmark is have a democratic or another thing. But I didn't know. Denmark has immigration like this immigration. They press us every day. But the worry is strange. A lot of people in Denmark do bad thing, like steal and another thing, but they get positive. I don't know why.
Well, what will happen if they go back?
Yeah, what will happen if you
just
go back? Death penalty?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes, serious. If you read the newspaper in Iran about Christian, it's very dangerous in Iran. It's forbidden in Iran.
Yeah.
A lot of people in prison now in Iran because they talk about Christian.
Yeah.
It's the same for atheists. I have a friend who's originally Muslim. He didn't even criticize that much. He was just writing stuff like, I think we should overthink the whole Iranian government, and I'm an atheist, I don't believe in that. And they sent him a letter, death penalty. Yeah.
Wow.
And the letter said, you are a threat to national security. We need to see you in court. And he knew that means, okay, I'm either going to prison forever or I'm going to be executed at some point. So he left. He didn't even go to court.
But what can we do now to solve, or try and solve this problem for you guys? Is there anything left that we can do to keep these guys here?
Yeah, that's very complex because it's about, what lawyers do you have and what is your case and can your lawyer reopen your case and waiting time and...
We have to just wait, but I don't know when.
How are you dealing with this? Like, you're just waiting for what?
For my case.
Okay.
We have a lawyer. Lawyer tell to me, you have to wait. But I don't know when. I know one person here, and he have been in Denmark 14 years.
14
years. Here, but he has not positive.
Yeah.
14 years.
Umid also.
Umid and Bijan.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people here.
Well, what do you think or feel about if maybe you have to live here in this camp for 5 years, 10 years?
We cannot do anything.
But if they delete my truc,
Yeah, fingerprints.
Yeah, you have a
Fingerprint.
fingerprint.
I want to go to Germany,
Okay.
but
yeah.
I cannot. If I go to Germany,
Okay.
they send my
That's it.
again. I talk to them, but they say no, no, I cannot.
But what can we do, Ilias, like people like us, what do you think is something besides media or something? How can we get involved in all of this?
I mean, it's that you know, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
It is really hard with the laws as they are at the moment to like change it because also that's like, you know, the opposition in Denmark, Socialdemokraterne, they are also very hostile of immigrants and not very accommodating. So it's also hard to change the system from within, I think, at the moment. The Social Democrats and Venstre are the biggest parties in Denmark. And the Social Democrats have been very harsh in the rhetoric also and in saying, okay, enough is enough, it's okay to say no to immigrants. That's sort of like the discourse they are using at the moment. So it would mean that, okay, if there was like a change, then we had to have Enhedslisten and SF, Alternativet and Radikale Venstre to become bigger than all
Big
the other
coalition.
parties.
You think that's likely?
No. So unless that Socialdemokraterne change their stance, I don't really see how it's going to be much easier. I don't think a lot of people know what it's like to be here, and you know, psychological trauma,
Yes, yes.
and you know, being treated as criminals. You know, that has to be against the law also.
You're Christians, right?
Yes.
I mean, so much for Christianity.
Keep like doing stuff together, and maybe you can do some interviews also, and then demonstrations,
Yes, yes.
and maybe take you out like and explain about Kærshovedgård to other like cities in Denmark. And we're also trying to do that, and to schools maybe, and
Yes.
get more attention on you guys. I mean, I think that's the way, you know, for the media to you know, have more focus on you, and then maybe you can, you know, sway the politicians.
Do they give you any money here to do something outside?
Any money?
When even if you you have a lot of free time, right? Because you don't have work right now.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Sleep and watch TV.
Okay.
Watch football. Much football. Barcelona.
How does a day go? You wake up in the morning. What do you do?
We eat breakfast.
And he
At the cafeteria.
just eat.
yeah. After sometime we go to English class here.
Yeah.
After we go to walking, well, we speak together here.
Do you guys have internet?
Internet?
Wi-Fi?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have it.
You go to church sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 times in the week we go to the church.
And how often are you allowed to leave and come back? And
Monday, 3 o'clock. Also we come back 12 o'clock. And Thursday, 7 o'clock. Also we come back 3 o'clock.
okay. And you have to report or like sign something or.
Meldepligt.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 times a
Yeah.
week.
2 times in the
3
week.
times in the week.
Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah. Get fine. Fine.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
get a
get
fine.
fined.
Yeah. Yes.
If you don't sign in,
Yeah,
you get a
sign
fine.
Yeah. If we don't sleep here.
But if you don't have money, how do you pay the fine?
Hey,
Credit cards.
hey,
and
money or we have to go
Yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
Prison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to get this clear, because I'm really flashed right now. You guys don't have any income in that extent, but you do have expenses because you live, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have credit cards that you take, and you're basically in debt.
Hvor de penge I får, hvor får I dem fra? Har I nogle penge med fra Iran også, eller er det nogle venner, der hjælper med penge? Og
No, sometimes I pick up those.
pant, ja. Bottles.
Yeah, yes,
for
yes.
pant,
of
ja.
course. I was in Copenhagen
Okay.
one time.
Ja.
Okay.
I pick up pant,
Yeah.
but I met three in man and two woman,
Yeah.
Danish.
Yeah.
They say to me, why you pick up Dosa?
Yeah.
Also you are young. Why? I told them I live in Kiasolgo. But they say, what is Kiasolgo? They don't know Kiasolgo. I get any money here.
The media doesn't talk about it that much, I've noticed.
Yeah, I'm actually doing research on it. The problem is that there's not big of an audience who would read it. Like, that's always the problem with media, right? Okay, you publish what your audience wants, your audience tells you what to do, but at the same time, Danish media, I have noticed so far as I can speak for English-speaking media or Google Translate, right? I've noticed so far that it's, when it comes to refugee camps, it's always hard news. So they only tell you, okay, there was an incident in this and that camp, this and that happened, so many people got, I don't know, imprisoned, or this guy freaked out, and they just tell you these things, like, this happened, step. There's no in-depth articles or
No.
features.
No, that's true. Yeah,
Right?
I agree. Yeah, with the articles I've read. Yeah.
If I can ask, when you guys create a fine, how much do they charge you? Do you have some paper that shows?
Hvor meget, når I ikke, hvis I ikke overholder meldepligter og sådan noget, og I får bøder, hvor meget er de bøder så på?
1,000, 2,000.
2,000 crore.
Do you have a piece of paper that shows this?
Yes.
Can we see it? Is it
Paper.
possible?
No, I have not, but they told me.
Ja, okay.
They told me.
We was in the court. They told you have to betale
Pay.
Pay. You have to pay in the.
So you guys are collecting bottles, how much is one bottle? Like 2-3 krona maybe?
A can is 1 kroner.
Can is 1 kroner, and then like
2,000 crore.
1 kron.
The
smaller
plastic-
bottle is like 1.5 kroner, and then the
bigger
biggest
one,
one is 3
3.
kroner.
Okay, so you're going to be collecting a lot of bottles, and it sounds, unfortunately, right?
We have to pay 8,000
8,000 kroner for
8,000 kroner.
lawyer.
for the,
For the lawyer.
yeah,
For liar,
for the,
But how do you get this money?
I don't know.
But it's something that they also want to look at your case, but then once there's been a result, then you have to pay.
Yes,
But you don't have to pay in the beginning.
yeah, we have to pay.
So you have to pay also in the beginning.
Yeah,
A
after
deposit.
we say open.
Ja, for at åbne. Ja, for at åbne sagen igen.
Yes.
Så koster det.
Yeah,
To reopen the case, it costs some money. So Marianne, the lawyer, she knows that they don't have any money, but she still looks at the cases.
But we have to pay later.
But you have to pay later. Pay later.
I don't know how.
Do you guys write down, I would suggest maybe you should write down maybe once a week your experiences here. Put it on the internet if possible.
Har I lavet sådan en dagbog? Har I skrevet noget om, hvordan det er at være her? Og så kan I måske lægge det ud på internettet, eller sådan, så hvis I sådan skriver, hvordan
We
det er.
have write in Facebook
Ja,
every time.
Ja, de skriver til på Facebook.
I found job in Aalborg, but I wanted work and pay a skat.
Of course, yes.
Ja, taxes.
But they told me you cannot work.
Okay.
And you found a job.
Yes, I found job.
Yeah.
But they cannot.
Don't have a license.
What is it? Have you been studying sociology?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, back in
bachelor.
Tehran? No?
Bachelor i Vest-Iran i Kermanshah.
Okay.
Mm.
Og til mere, what have you been doing?
You have diploma.
diploma.
Diplom i hvad?
Humani. Jeg vil ikke på det.
Nej, okay, det er også lige
Humanity.
Humanities?
Humanity, ja.
Oh, okay, yeah. So both humanists from university or, yeah,
Yeah, bachelor.
bachelor in sociology.
Yes.
And the Danish authorities, they don't recognize these credentials.
They don't. I talked to others before. They don't. I know someone who had to start. He had a master's degree. No, he started a master's degree in Syria or something, and they wouldn't acknowledge his bachelor's, neither the credits he had taken for his master's. So he started from scratch. He's 30 something, and he's starting a bachelor's now because no one would acknowledge it.
I have heard about Germany
Yeah.
for case.
Yeah.
If someone have like diploma and university and high
Yeah, education.
high education is good or help for positive. But in Denmark, no.
If you have a degree in Germany, you're much better off. Yeah.
Could you guys still try and apply for asylum in other countries, maybe outside of Europe?
And we
I
will
mean, they're difficult. We move for to USA and Canada. Really difficult.
Yeah.
We have to pay a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys still have your passports? You still have your Iranian citizenship? No! You don't have your... So you're stateless.
we don't.
Yeah. Statsløse.
What about your families? Are they back home? Your family?
We have a difficult situation in Iran because that was earthquake in Iran. Maybe you have heard about Iran.
Yeah.
Yes, we have lost a lot of my room in Iran or lot of things in Iran.
How did you guys arrive in Denmark? Like, how did you cross?
Smaller.
Menneskesmugler.
Yeah.
Yeah, human smugglers, is that what you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smugglers.
Was this from the Mediterranean?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which countries did you go through?
Hvilke lande rejste I igennem? Makedonien. Makedonia. Ja. Okay.
So yeah, the Balkans.
The Balkans, yeah.
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 Because you guys went with smugglers, so you paid a lot of money, right, to get here. Also, did you feel like it was it dangerous? Were you scared when you were on?
Yes,
Yeah,
really
they were,
dangerous.
yeah.
Dangerous, yeah.
Do you think they're still working, those smugglers?
Jeg tror stadigvæk, at menneskesmuglerne, de arbejder. Det er stadigvæk,
Yeah.
ja.
Yeah.
Der er mange, der bruger dem.
How much should they make you pay?
$1,000 and 600. $1,600.
Dollars.
Well, thankfully it wasn't all so serious. There were actually some really lighthearted moments. We listened to each other play instruments and chat about, just trying to have fun and make the best of what's really obviously a shitty situation. So it was nice to just do fun, stupid stuff. I guess there was a general feeling that you're really not sure how to interact with people in this situation. And I guess that was pretty evident from even the beginning. But it got better as time went on.
Yeah.
How old is everybody here? I think I'm the oldest person.
You think so? I think I am the oldest, actually.
No. You're 30? Okay.
The youngest.
Whoa, so condescending. Like.
Yeah, and so you can hear some other folk have joined us. It's some of our pals who work with us in France. Hey!
Nice. Woohoo! And again, like this. Like
Yeah!
You are so.
can you try like?
Hit the road, Jack.
Don't you treat me so mean? The meanest woman that I ever seen. I guess if you say so. It's like the worst thing ever.
A little bit later, we decided to head out and go back to town. But before we did that, I wanted to see a bit more of the buildings. I mean, the whole area just has this very bleak, very grim feel about it. And it's hard to comprehend. Of course, the place had a real prison too, for more violent people.
People from here can't get in, but they can go out.
Yeah. So what kind of sentences are we talking about?
Well, I think it's like, maybe like violence and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not too sure, but I think it's like a bit rougher crime.
Okay. I think an interesting observation about everything that you see here is, You know, there's one Danish guy, and all the rest are foreigners. And that's an interesting thought in general. Obviously, there are more Danes that are helping the cause, but how many Danish people are actually visiting these people in these camps, these guys? Who knows? I mean, we saw a Red Cross building, office. But beyond that, you know, from the occasional NGO, where's the public? Where's their interest? Where's their concern?